It's Tuesday morning, day 5 of our adventure, and it's a little after 5:30. We woke up this morning to find that the wind had shifted back to the north, although it's very light. But we took advantage of the fact that the breeze was once again off the beach, as it was at the time we anchored, to sail or drift off the anchor, and we did manage to extricate ourselves from that area without bumping into those fishing nets and posts and things. So we are currently we're picking up speed. We're doing 1.2 knots. Seems likely we'll have to start the engine at some point. The tide or current in the channel south of Shelter Island is about slack now, but soon will start to turn against us. And this isn't enough wind to fight against that. So it is supposed to be out of the north, as it is this morning, this morning, and then out of the south this afternoon. The forecast didn't say how strong, but well, I'm not expecting a lot of wind, but we shall see. Well, it's about 6:45 now, and we've been ghosting along like this for an hour and a quarter, come a bit over a mile. Speed seems to be dropping off. Maybe we're picking up some of that current, but we're not going to get anywhere this way, so we'll hope for more wind later, and we'll pull in the sails and start the engine for now. So we've made our way out of the Shelter Island South Channel and into Gardiner's Bay, and we've set sail. There seemed to be a little breeze, and sure enough, it's got us moving along at somewhere between 1 and 2 knots. We're battling a bit of a current, but that's okay. So it's still out of the north. And we're headed east. Tentative destination is Montauk. Last time I was there, it was a weekend, and it was I didn't like it, but it's not a weekend anymore, so I think it'll be all right. Probably about time for the chart. So here again is Shelter Island, and we spent the night in Smith Cove, and spent about the first hour drifting out to around here, and then motored down past Sag Harbor, which is down here around this point, and north into Gardiner's Bay. And we've set course a little north of east, and we've passed this green buoy, and we are approaching this green buoy. So for the most part, things are going well, but there is one small problem. Since it's still morning and we are headed east, not sure if that's going to come out, but the solar panel is about half blocked, which will pretty much shut it down. So, we'll have to wait until a little later in the day to get our solar energy. Well, it's about 10 o'clock, and we had been doing pretty well making our way east, but the wind seems to have pretty much died. Maybe this is part of that transition from blowing from the north to blowing from the south, which is what the weather report said was going to happen during the course of the day. So, not sure, but I think we'll drop the sails and motor for a while. Let it sort itself out. This buoy marks the western end of the passage around the north end of Gardiner's Island. So this is the green buoy we just passed. Here's part of Gardiner's Island. We're right at the edge of the chart, and we're going to come down and south this way, and then on to another chart. You'll get to see that eventually, I'm sure. So it's about 11:15, and I happened to notice that there was a slight breeze. So we've put the sails out and turned off the motor, and we're going to sail. The breeze is out of the north, which means that we have to go basically northeast from this area. We're right at the northern tip of Gardiner's Island at the moment. So go northeast to get to Montauk Harbor entrance, which means we may have to tack, but that'd be all right too, I think. It's 20 minutes after noon, and I've just finished lunch. I had a sandwich, roast beef, it was good. But as you might be able to tell, the wind has dropped off to nothing again. So, well, I don't feel like just sitting around and drifting. So we'll pull in the sails again and start the motor. Good thing we have a motor. It's about 1:35 now, and we're approaching the breakwaters for Lake Montauk, which is no longer really a lake. So we're going to go in here and probably way down to the south end of it. And this is where we came from back here. This is the passage around the south end of Gardiner's Island. So when we left Block Island Sound and came in through the breakwaters into Montauk Harbor, it was dead calm. There hadn't been wind for an hour or more. By the time I was into Montauk Lake, there was a wind out of the south that was, I think it's 15 to 20 knots at times. So, as planned, I went to the south end of Montauk Lake, and there isn't much in the way of elevation down here. There aren't bluffs or anything, but at least there's some trees here providing some protection. So this is where we chose to drop anchor. I guess I could have gotten a little closer. I don't like the feeling that I'm anchored in somebody's backyard. But it seems pleasant enough. I've been in this general area several times. So we're safe for the night, I hope. So as you may recall, over the last couple of sailing seasons, well, mostly it was last season, I was on a quest to find some solution that would help to minimize the swinging at anchor. That's primarily a problem because of you block the sun from one direction, and the boat swings around a different direction, and now the sun's hitting you in the face again. So I tried a whole experiment with anchoring off the bow eye rather than the bow cleat, and that it may have worked to some extent, but it certainly wasn't the whole solution. Although I still do it because I just prefer it. But this year we have a new element, and this is always the death knell if I say this, but it seems to be working. And I think this is the best vantage point to see it from. Well, I could get up on the bow, but then the wind is so strong, I think you couldn't hear me. So this is a riding sail, and it comes as a kit from Sailrite. And my wife was able to complete that construction process, and it the theory is that it uses the wind, so the sail fills on one side and pushes you. Well, anyway, I won't try to describe the theory, but it does seem to be working, and so long as there's at least some wind, and there's plenty now. So we are swinging a bit at anchor, but the over an arc of only 30 degrees, which I find acceptable. So we'll report on whether this continues to work over the long haul. But I've waited on reporting on it just to see if it was a one-night stand, so to speak. But it does seem to be working pretty consistently. And while I'm busy showing you new things, I'll just quickly come back to the cabinet in the head that I tried to present at the end of last cruise's video, and the battery died. So I don't remember exactly where I was on this, but this is a cabinet providing storage for a number of things. Over here, bins and my what do they call those things? Anyway, my hairbrush and toothbrush and that kind of thing is in there. Here's the thing I most wanted to have was a bookshelf. So we got a couple of the MapTech sailing guides. There's covering, well, all New Jersey, which I don't plan to go to, all the way up to Maine, which I hope to get to. And so I got the Coast Pilot for this area, and there's various reference materials in here. Here's a cubby I use just to shove clothes in for quick access, and this is another piece of camping gear. Actually, it's being repurposed. It's a down quilt for cold nights, which I've used once or twice. Okay, so there's one more aspect to this. Notice here and over here I've got little pieces of wood, which in woodworking terms are known as cleats, and what they're for is to support this piece of 3/4 inch plywood in there, and the purpose of that is to support this cushion. This is the smallest back cushion, and it just fits in there perfectly. And now when I sleep here with my head up in this area and my feet down there. It provides, that extra margin of space that makes the V-berth workable as a place to sleep for an adult. Tonight for dinner we have dehydrated backpacking shrimp and sausage jambalaya, and a salad and some wine.